Everybody, as a low vision Android and iOS user, one of my biggest frustrations is large print settings. I find that it's not consistent, and I've complained about this on both iOS and Android, although Android I find is ironically a bit better than iOS when it comes to this. But when you put your phone to the large print setting, some things are large, some things aren't, some things are microscopic, some things are like within the email, some things will be big and other things aren't. It's not consistent at all. But if you put on magnification, then you're stuck only looking at part of the screen at a time, which is fine if you're on like a 27-inch monitor, or kind of fine if you're on your iPad, not fine if you're on a small screen like an Android phone. Even a Note 4 that I'm on with a 5.7-inch screen, I still don't really like using the magnification because it's kind of cumbersome. Well, I found a really cool app that will actually help you work around that, and that's coming right up.
Low on vision, high on tech. Circleoftheblindmice.com.
Hey everybody, it's Tammy, your friendly neighborhood blind mouse that likes to babble about technology. And in this week's video, I'm going to show you an app for Android. It's available on the Google Play Store. And I'm going to be showing it to you on my Samsung Galaxy Note 4, but you can use it with other Android devices as well. So it's called Big Font, and it allows you to change the font size globally on your Android device. And although Android does allow you to choose from 3 different font sizes, or if you're on a Note 4 or many Samsung devices, you have 7 font sizes you can choose from. A lot of the time it only changes certain parts of your screen. For example, the font size of your text messaging app or your email, but the font size elsewhere, for example in Facebook, is small, and various other apps is still small. And if you use magnification, well, that's kind of cumbersome on a small phone, only being able to see a part of the screen at a time. If you're familiar with Zoom Text or the Zoom feature on a Mac computer, you know that the smaller the screen, the more cumbersome it can be. So this is a nice workaround around that for some, if you like to have just your font bigger and keep everything else the regular size. So it's had 1 million downloads rather on the Google Play Store. It's got a rating of 4.2, and that's out of 11,224 ratings. So it's got a pretty good rating. So I'll just switch over into the app itself. Okay, so a couple of things about the app. You can actually shrink the font as well as make it bigger. So it's not just an enlarging app, it also allows you to make it smaller. Although for our purposes, if you're visually impaired, you're almost guaranteed to want the font bigger, not smaller. But that being said, just for the purpose of completeness of this video, I will let you know that you can change your font from as little as 20% of the original size all the way up to 1000%. However, the free version I have discovered only allows you to go from 50% of the original size all the way up to 250%. So like I said, the app allows you to globally change your font, and it works for Android 2.3 or higher. And let me see here. So it allows you to preview your font before you actually apply it. It will show a notification in your notification panel, like we have up here. There'll be a notification where you can select and change the font by pressing the notification window, which I'll show you momentarily. And Android 2.3 to 3.0. But below 4.0, you also have the option to add certain apps to the not working list. So I would recommend using this app if you have Android 4.0 and higher. Sounds like I get the impression from this that if you have under 4.0, you're probably going to have some issues. Might not work as well as you hope, because not all apps are going to be able to support it. So that being said, let's get out of this little screen here. Okay, so here's the app itself. So it's a very simple interface. Now I've got my phone in horizontal view, so it might look a little bit different on your phone if you've got it on the vertical view instead. But all the functionality is still the same. So by default, it gives you 6 font options in the free version, and then that's along the top here where the blue background is. So for those who aren't able to see it, it's got by default it's got 85%, 90%, normal, 130%, 142%, and 250%. And then down here on the white part, it shows you a preview of the font with various different types of spacing. So the top line is 22 spacing, the second line is 18 spacing, and then the third line is 14 spacing. And then at the bottom here, we've got the apply button and the remove ads button, which is to change yourself from the free version to the pro version. So a couple of things to note: when you select a font and you apply it, you have to restart your device. So that's one kind of annoying part of this, but I guess I can understand why they're doing it, because it is a global font change. It's just kind of cumbersome if you need to switch between different font sizes. You got to go through the hassle of restarting your device again. That's a small price to pay considering the fact that this changes your font globally. Now, a couple other things to let you know about is you can customize your font settings. So let's say you don't really want the 85 or 90%, which I personally don't, because again, I'm not going to make my font smaller, I'm going to make it bigger. So what you do is you tap on the font size you want to delete, and then that's going to put a little orange or reddish orange line. Looks like it's orange to me. I'm going to call it orange. Don't shoot me if it's red. But anyway, you're gonna see that little line underneath, and then you're gonna tap this X, which is near the right hand upper corner here. So you're gonna tap on the X. It's gonna give you a little box asking, do you really want to delete 85% font size from the list? And I'm gonna say okay. And there we go, it is done. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the 90%. We're gonna delete that. Okay. And so that's left me with normal, 130, 142, and 250. But I want to add a couple of my own custom font sizes. So then you're going to press on the plus sign. Oh, before I move on to that, I'll just let you know that you'll notice that the minus sign has now disappeared. So at least on the free version anyway, it only allows you to delete 2 of the available fonts. I'm sure on the paid version, they must allow you to delete more than that, but on free, you get what you pay for, right? So, but that's fine with me. I don't mind having just 6 fonts to choose from. I probably only use about probably 2 or 3 of the font selections anyway. But getting back to adding the fonts, I'm going to press this plus sign at the upper right hand corner. This is going to bring me a screen where, again, you've got the preview at the bottom. And below that, you've got the add this font size on the blue bar at the bottom here. And at the top, you've got a slider. So if you've got some vision, you can use a slider, or you can use the plus and the minus squares on the side to fine tune your selection. So what I tend to do is I move the slider first just to kind of get somewhere near where I want to be. So I want to add, let's add 200. Okay, so I'm about 207. So I'm just going to use the minus sign here to fine tune it. So now we've got it at 200. I'm going to say add. And there we go. Now you see 200 is now in the list. But I want to add one more because sometimes I like it to be a little bit bigger than that even, but I don't quite want 250 because that's just a little bit too big for me. So we're going to also add 230. So just a moment while I do that. Slide the slider. And I keep missing 230, so that's where these little plus and minus signs come in handy again. And you can also tap and hold the plus or minus sign, and it will actually make your font scroll really fast as well. So just so you know that you can do that. And I seem to keep missing 230. Just one more second. There we go. Okay, so I got 230. So we're gonna, you see the display here then on the bottom. So I'm just gonna say yes. Okay, perfect. So I now have my fonts as I want them. So I am going to, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you size 250. But before I do that, I'm actually going to bring up my Circle of the Blind Mice Facebook page just so you can see the regular size font. As you know, I haven't applied any of these fonts yet. I've added them, but I haven't applied them. So I'm going to open up my Facebook page just so you can see the normal font, and then I'm going to pause the video and then come back with size 250 just to show you the font size on my Facebook page, just so you can see how well it does globally increase the fonts. Okay, so here we go. We are in my Facebook page, and I'll just scroll through a few posts here so you get the idea of the font size. So keep that in the back of your mind. Let me also just show you my main screen here so you can see the font is not overly huge. Let me just open one of my folders. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind. Now I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to restart my phone. Actually, no, sorry. Before I do that, I lied. Let me go back into the app for a second. It would help if I actually activated one of the fonts. So let me just go back to landscape mode. All right, so I'm going to select 250. I'm going to select apply. And now it's going to give me the window saying that I need to restart my device. So it says, do you really want to update the system font to size 250%? Not really, but for the purpose of this video, I will, since that's the maximum that I can do on this font setting. So we're going to say okay. And it's going to give me this box now saying, please restart your device to apply the new system font size. And I'm going to do that in a minute, but just a heads up, it took me a while to figure this out. On the upper right hand corner of this blue box that talks about restarting your device, there's a little orangey red circle. So if you want that box to go away because you've got a couple other things that you want to do beforehand, you're just going to tap that and that makes that box go away. All right, and speaking of doing some more things, I am now going to pause or stop this first half of this video and save it, and then we will go on to the second half where I'll show you the big font. Okay, so I've restarted my phone, and as you can see, the date below my clock is a lot bigger now. Let's just see if the font is any bigger within the app. Yeah, I think the font is bigger within this app a little bit, although the font in this app was pretty big already. But let's just take a look at my app drawer. So you can see the font below the icons is pretty big. Let me just go into the horizontal mode for a moment. You can see a little bit more of the font. Now the one downside though is, of course, having the font this big is you cannot see the whole word underneath it. But if you're the type of person who goes with icon color and shape and then just the first few letters of the app, then this might be okay for you. Let me just go back over to vertical here. And let me go into my Facebook page. So this is my Circle of the Blind Mice Facebook page, and just look how huge this font is. So this is probably the best application for this app, is just within Facebook, because it makes the font so much bigger, and Facebook Pages doesn't want me to put my page in horizontal mode, so I guess we'll stay in vertical mode, but this just gives you an idea. I'll just pause the screen there so you can just see how large that is. So again, this is at the size 250 font. Now one downside though I noticed is when you're in the notifications panel, all of this is still the regular size. So my notification messages here, that's all normal size. But then if I go into my system settings, the quick settings buttons at the top, same font size as normal. But if I scroll down to the detailed menus, then it's nice and big. A lot bigger than they would have been before. So that is a nice touch, and let's go into one of those. So let's go into accessibility. Okay, so we're in accessibility, and you can see vision. So this is all nice and big now. So that is a nice change. One thing I did notice is the font inside my text messages is the same as it was before. There is no difference with anything. The text bubble is large, and this is already Samsung's large font size that I already had it set to. The top part of the text message is still small, just like it was before. Inside an email, and I'm not going to go into my email because I don't really want to show the world. Actually, let me go into a Best Buy email just a second. Okay, so inside a Best Buy email, it's actually made the font smaller inside the bulk of the email. Whereas I find Samsung's font, huge font, would usually make the email pretty large. But in this case, you have to zoom in and see part of the screen like you normally would. So that I don't really like with this app. I'm finding that the emails don't respond as well to this big font app as say Facebook does. But again, I really think the application for this is Facebook and apps like that where you might want to have a larger font size. Let's try Instagram and we'll see. Okay, yeah, so Instagram, it works well with Instagram as well, makes the font really large. Let me see if it will let me go sideways on Instagram. No, it does not. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What else can we check out here? Okay, so on websites it makes it pretty big. I'm on the Amazon website right now. So this is the base font size while running big font, so it makes it pretty large. Phone dialer, no change there. Let me just press a couple numbers. Oh, whoa, okay, I spoke too soon. Okay, so it makes the numbers really freaking big at the phone dialer, so that may or may not be a good thing because you can't see all of your numbers. That's almost too big, like I say, that's why I like 200 or 230, but I wanted to show you 250 just so you could get an idea of what the maximum size you could get under the free version. So, oh, I did want to show you the what happens when you try to add a font that is bigger than what the free version will allow you. So I'll delete, let's delete the 130. So I'm going to say delete. Yes. Okay. So let's say I want to add size 300. Okay, here's a downside. I cannot see what font number I'm adding now because it's cut off here. Let me try going horizontal. Okay, here we go. Whoa, 609%. Okay, let's do, okay, 301. That's, oh, there we go, 300. Okay, so I'm going to say add, and it says upgrade to pro version. The free version is, hold on, the free version, the free version is an ad-supported version with limited functionality, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, so I don't want to upgrade. So, but just to show you what happens when you try to add a font size that's above 250. Same thing if you try to go below 50. So we'll say 45 or 44, that's good enough. I get the same message. So, but 50, whoops. Let me show you adding 50 just to show you that you can go as low as 50%. so 50. And there we go. It added 50%. But I don't really want 50% because I will not be able to see it to save my life. So we're going to say cancel or delete. There we go. All right. So that's it. That's big font. So let me know what you think if you've tried this app. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Have you upgraded to the Pro version? If so, does it have any other features that weren't readily obvious as far as looking at the pre version goes? Are there more bells and whistles that aren't apparently obvious by just looking at this free version? So let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you in the next video. Here at Circle of the Blind Mice are bringing these videos because I believe technology enriches the lives of those of us with visual impairments. My mission is to help you learn tech, use tech, and embrace tech. Please share this video to help spread the word to your fellow blind mice, and if you're new here, please subscribe for new videos every Saturday. Thanks for watching.